Warning, you are about to watch a top 10 Mario list that may not place your favorites at number 1 or number 2. So, yeah. Okay. Gotta get this script done. Number 1, Mario Brothers 3. No. Super Mario World! No, that can't be number 1. That's Super Mario 64 is number 1. No, it can't be number 2. Part 1 of Mario RPG. There's definitely a Super Mario Bros. Well, here we are with the top 10 Mario games list, and I don't even know where to start really with this list. There are like amazing Mario games, so putting this list together was kind of a pain in the butt. And I guess the only thing I can really say to keep in mind is this is my list, so it's going to be different, and I actually looked online at a few others, and my top 2 are definitely a little different, so keep that in mind. Oh, and also, I never really played the handheld Game Boy Mario games that much, so sorry Game Boy fans. Hey, this is pretty fun! I'm not counting Smash Brothers series because I couldn't really decide if I thought that was a Mario title game or not. I guess it's not because it doesn't have Mario in the title. Okay everyone, let's do this. Here we go with my top 10 Mario games of all time.
Number 10.
The Mario Party series. The first Mario Party game was released in December of 1998, and to be completely honest, I was not very impressed with the first release. It wasn't until the next few installments that I really got into the games. These games were perfect for having friends over and just having a good time. Many video games that do mini-games seem to get old really fast and seem like a cheap ploy and a cheap way to entertain you, but this is not the case at all with the Mario Party series. Most of these games seem to be well thought out and will keep you laughing up a storm. A major complaint people seem to have on the Nintendo 64 versions are that your thumbs and hands get all beat up while playing these minigames, but come on people, no pain, no gain.
Oh man, this is great!
Now, not many people are still fans of the series, but to be 100% honest, Ricky and I still get together and play Mario Party 8 and 9 all the time. I truly think no matter how long the series goes on, I will always be entertained by the Mario Party series.
Number 9.
Paper Mario, Nintendo 64. So the Nintendo 64 did not have many RPGs, and even the ones they did have, well, they were not the best. With the stellar success of Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo, would Nintendo be able to create another RPG without the help of Square this time around? Yes. Something they kept running in this game was the timed hits, which was pretty groundbreaking for its time when Mario RPG did it. When the game was released, some people were not sure how to feel about the graphics on this game, but I absolutely thought, and still do, think they are spectacular. I love how Nintendo is always bold about stepping out and really pushing the spectrum. Yeah, it was the Nintendo 64, and people probably were expecting graphics like Mario 64, or Wave Race, or GoldenEye, but nope, Nintendo went with the freaking paper-thin Mario.
Aw yeah, moving forward Nintendo.
I really love the badge system in the game, which can provide access to special attacks, passive bonuses, and even altered sound effects. And speaking of sound effects, they are also reminiscent of some classic Mario titles and just feel right. The soundtrack borrows from its past, but with new ideas and direction to give it a refreshing feel. Nintendo really held their own with this RPG and showed the world that they can represent this flagship franchise very well on their own, even in RPG form.
Number 8.
Super Mario Galaxy, Wii.
Sometimes as gamers we tend to look merely at the technical aspects of a game to determine if it's good or not. And while I agree this game is good in technical aspects, sometimes when you just sit back from far away and look at it and say, is this game fun or not?
Super Mario Galaxy is a blast to play and even more brilliant to look at. I got that same feeling I did looking at this as I did when I first saw Mario 64 as a younger child. My brain just felt a sense of beauty in this game right off the bat. The main point I want to get across about this game is that nowadays I feel so many developers are over concerned with making games a movie, where we tend to watch half of the game. Super Mario Galaxy just simply says, come and play. Let's explore this open new world. Let's go on a journey and not stick to the standards of gameplay which most games are throwing at us. This wonderful game will have you sitting in awe as you move your favorite plumber through space and countless drifting planets and so much more. I'm having a hard time finishing this part of the script because, honestly, I'm stopping right now. I'm gonna go play this. Seriously.
Where the heck is my Wii remote?
Number 7.
Super Mario Bros. Nintendo Entertainment System. Let me start off by saying that many people will say they had to put this game somewhere on the list because it basically saved the video game crash of 1983, and it really started the whole Mario franchise, and while this is true, I would like to put it on my list because it's a wonderful game. There is something really special about this classic side-scroller, and I won't gear it towards simply nostalgia. The game has two major things going for it that stand out to me: the gameplay and the music. The gameplay is perfect, and when you play, you cannot blame the game's controls if you're unable to successfully save the princess, because they are responsive and they can easily take Mario, or Luigi, in the direction you want and desire. The music and sound effects are something of a behemoth and I feel can never be taken down, so to say. I think the sound or music from almost any level is undeniably the most recognizable to anybody, anywhere, when it relates to a video game. Whether you were a Nintendo child or not, you can hear just a mere simple sound and say, oh, that's Super Mario Bros. All this aside, the game features brilliant warps, hidden tricks, and an overall wonderful experience.
Number 6.
Mario Kart 64. Nintendo 64. I feel it's safe to say that any Mario Kart could have easily made its way onto this list, as they're all a truly sensational experience. So I went with the one that I played most in my life, and played this game I did. I remember sitting back enjoying this game every day after school, and my mom doing everything in her power to get my attention, to get me to stop playing, but I just couldn't.
Aaron, get off! You're gonna get grounded.
Play a video game.
Your dad's gonna come spank you.
Busy.
I got Del Taco.
Learning to power slide like a pro and mastering my shots in battle mode is just a couple of the things that had me relentlessly coming back for more day in and day out. There is not much to say about this game as it's a racing game, but if you have played it, you know I need not say much more than, well, this game is freaking fun.
Now it's time for intermission.
Well guys, it looks like we're halfway through this list, and I'm sure by now you're a little tired of hearing my voice, so why don't we take a quick break and head over to the long-haired handsome stallion himself to see one of his favorite Mario games.
Here comes a new challenger!
I said Metal Jesus, if you didn't hear me.
Most people, when they talk about their favorite Mario game, are going to list off one of the many platforming games, but for me, that's not the case. There is one game that I think just blows them all away, and that is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on the Game Boy Advance. Now, the thing about this game that I really enjoy is that it is an RPG, which happens to be one of my favorite genres of games, but it also stays true to the Mario universe. This could not have taken place anywhere else other than the Mushroom Kingdom. As a matter of fact, this was a game that made me really appreciate Mario's brother, Luigi. This guy's hilarious in this game. I would go so far as to say that Luigi actually steals this game. He's just so funny. Now, being an RPG, you have to get that combat engine just right, and thankfully, Superstar Saga does a great job. Being a Mario game, all of the attacks are jump attacks that are based on your timing and performed either solo or with combos with your brother. You gain experience to level up your stats like power, defense, and even mustache points. As an extra bonus for fans, the game has a bunch of references to other Mario games, including the original Mario Brothers arcade game, Donkey Kong, Super Mario World, Dr. Mario, Yoshi's Island, even Super Mario 64, and Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube. This is a hilarious and really well-made RPG. I love it to death.
Number 5.
Super Mario Bros. 3. Nintendo Entertainment System.
What? This should be at least number 1 or 2! Now guys, remember, this is my list, and although I love almost all the Mario titles, well, our lists are gonna vary a little bit. Whistles, pea clouds, tanuki suits, larger-than-life Goombas, flying ships, and so much more. Super Mario Bros. 3 is one of the most splendid games on this earth. If you asked most people what their favorite Mario game on the NES is, they would likely answer this monumental classic, and I don't blame them. All the different suits that Mario can acquire make the game such a blast. Also, being able to play minigames to win different items and save these suits or power-ups in your stock was something I was not expecting in a Mario game, but I'm sure glad they did it. So I felt the game was slightly easy, but that was until World 8. World 8 was relentless and would empty your stock of power-ups in no time. Most of this was due to the random hands that would come up and grab you out of nowhere. How is this even fair? Super Mario Bros. 3 lived up to the hype that the wizard built up. I can truly say that I have never met a soul who said they didn't like Super Mario Bros. 3.
Number 4.
Super Mario 64. Nintendo 64. If there is one vivid memory I have of being in a toy store as a child, the story of Mario 64 is it. When I was a child, I remember walking into a Toys R Us with my brother Adam and heading straight for the video games, as always. But something was different this time. There was a crowd around a console and we could not see what was being played. We stood around to try and see what was going on, just as everyone else was doing. Then we heard it.
It's me, Mario!
It was the new Mario we had heard so much about and had been dying to play. Time went by which felt like hours, and it was finally our turn to play. So my brother Adam went first and... my jaw dropped. We were looking at a 3D Mario game with this gorgeous music and graphics. My brother looked at me and said, "This controls amazing." I couldn't believe my eyes or ears as to what was happening. I stood in absolute awe. This is one of those moments in my life I will never ever forget. Still to this day, Mario 64 is one of the best 3D games and games in general that I have ever experienced. The control still handles perfectly. The graphics are full and rich and make me feel a perfect sense of my childhood while playing, and the music is 100% flawless. Dire Dire Docks is still a song that can and still does give me chills each and every time I hear it. Thank you for these memories, Mario 64. Seriously.
Number 3.
Super Mario World. Super Nintendo.
Okay, Internet. Please don't hurt me.
As a child playing Mario Bros. 3 and hearing there was going to be a new Mario game for the upcoming Super Nintendo, one had to think, could this compare to Super Mario Bros. 3?
Well, yes. Yes, it did.
Super Mario World was such a great follow-up to such a classic, and in my opinion, just did everything Mario 3 did, but much better. We also got a chance to play alongside Yoshi, who is now a major staple in the Mario franchise. The game takes a decent amount of skill to beat, and you will need to do some level memorizing, and it will also take some good timing on your part to complete this gem. There are many hidden areas here in Super Mario World, which brings the game's replayability to a top tier. And as always with Mario games, the controls are tight and responsive, and honestly, makes me wonder why so many failed side-scrollers did not take note from one of the true kings of side-scrolling, Mario.
Number 2.
Super Mario Bros. 2, Nintendo Entertainment System.
So if you watch my channel, you probably thought this was going to be number 1. Well, it came close though, obviously.
So I know what tons of you are saying right now, but this was a game called Doki Doki Panic, and it wasn't even supposed to... I know. But it is a Mario game regardless of how it became one, and I freaking love it. One of the main reasons this may stick out to me as one of the greatest Mario games of all time may be that this game has a little bit of a dark side. Some of the enemies in the game really do give off a dark or creepy feel, and well, I'm a huge fan of horror movies and survival horror games. The music that goes along with the bosses is a perfect fit. It gives you a sense of action and a sense of urgent action, and makes you feel as if you have seconds to act. Also, being able to choose from 4 different characters was stellar because it wasn't just for show, but each character had its own special attributes, which made playing with each character a different experience. And I also hear
I have not played it yet.
that the new Mario 3D Land borrows a bit from this. Whether we like it or not, Mario Bros. 2 is a Mario game, and in my humble opinion, it is one of the best games I have ever played in my entire life.
Number 1.
Super Mario RPG, Super Nintendo. In 1996, the Super Nintendo was starting to head out, and Nintendo was gearing up for the Ultra 64, or Nintendo 64. But before they went, Square teamed up with Nintendo to send Mario off with a proper farewell, and oh my gosh. Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars is a game that will forever be ingrained in my heart. Now, I had never been into RPGs much at all when this came out, but my brother somehow managed to convince me to give this game a try, and when I did, I was blown away. Yes, I know the same old story of the princess being captured by Bowser, but this time it was different. The opening scene where she was taken away struck something in me. It seemed more believable than normal. I really felt as if I was on a quest to save her, and through the game the tables turned and things got mixed up, and what? Bowser was now on my side. I could not believe it. I was able to join up with a few others as well, and was introduced to Mello and Gino, who I am still dying to see in a Smash Brothers game. The graphics were wonderful, and I admit I was not used to or very fond of isometric laid out games, but this didn't hinder my enjoyment in any way. The music brought to us in Super Mario RPG is darn near perfection. The Starlight's flower theme is something special to me. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it just does something to me emotionally that I simply cannot explain. If I could only have one Mario game with me for the rest of my life, it would be this one, by miles and miles. Something I have not told any of you yet is that, well, Super Mario RPG just might possibly be my favorite game of all time, ever.
Well guys, that was it. That was my top 10 Mario games of all time. Hey, and I know there's going to be a lot of disagreements here, so feel free to leave yours in the comments below, and also share the video and like the video if you at least enjoyed it. Now, but I know there's one thing we all can agree on. Mario Brothers really is something special. I know it holds a lot of precious memories for all of us. It's weird to sit back and think that this little guy right here has changed so much in our lives and changed so much in gaming in general. So, I simply want to say thank you to Nintendo, and I also want to say, long live the Mario Brothers series. Thanks for watching.
Take a swing, let me kill you.